Christ warned us this would happen. In Mark 13:23, he said, "Be on your guard. I've told you everything ahead of time." We're going to look at the last days, the time of the end, also known as end time and the Great Tribulation. The last days begin with Christ's first coming, Hebrews 1, and ends with the seventh-day Sabbath rest, Hebrews 4. The end time began with the first seal of Revelation 6, and it will end with the seventh seal. The Great Tribulation begins with the Antichrist in the temple, 2 Thessalonians 2, and it will end with Matthew 24:29. The last days is part of God's 7-day plan for man. Christ came at the beginning of day 5, the fifth millennial. We're at the end of day 6, the sixth millennial. The seventh final millennial kingdom is the seventh-day Sabbath rest. In Hosea, after 2 days he will revive us. On the third day he will restore us, that we may live in his presence. The last days, the end time and Great Tribulation. We've seen the last days presented. Now we're going to look at the end time, which began with the first seal of Revelation 6, 9/11/2001, and will end with the seventh seal. As you can see in this timeline of the end time, 9/11/2001 was the first seal of Revelation 6. The second seal is next. And this takes us all the way through the time of the end, from the first seal of Revelation to the seventh. Okay, we've looked at the last days. We've looked at the end time. Now we're going to look at the Great Tribulation, which begins with the Antichrist in the temple. Jesus talked about that. It was prophesied in Daniel and in 2 Thessalonians 2. And it will end with Matthew 24:29. The Great Tribulation. The last 7 years of the time of the end begins with the Antichrist confirming a covenant with many for 1/7. In the middle of the 7, he will set up the abomination that causes desolation, starting the Great Tribulation, which will end with Matthew 24:21, and then the rapture, resurrection, and gathering. The second seal Iran war is next. Then all Christians will wake up to end-time prophecy, and the Messiah soon return. They're going to have a lot to learn. The time has come, our journey begins, is like a travel plan which takes us on a journey through the time of the end, from start to finish. It explains when prophets indicate that the time began and what God expects of his people so they are able to make it into his kingdom when it comes.